took the minute to hear like the support from her. I already knew I had support from her. I already knew I would have support from her family. Now I'm having a medical team who's actually like, this is something that could work for you. Yeah. It kind of like all went together for me to where I could finally believe in myself that like, no, you can do it. Yeah. So here I am.
Yeah. Guess what, guys?
We're not doctors.
No, we are not.
If you're going to be making any major medical decisions, please consult your doctor.
Yes, and that includes diets, exercise, medications, and surgery.
We love you guys.
And we want you to be in our OSLP family forever.
So be careful
and consult
your doctors. We love ProCare. You guys know this. And guess what? They have a brand new product out and it tastes like an orange Tic Tac.
That's right. I have got it in my hot little hands right now. It's their easy to swallow tablet in Citrus Grove. And both of us have fully switched over to it.
We had to because it's easy to swallow, doesn't stick, and it has 45 milligrams of iron. And we both need that.
Yes, we do. So go to procarenow.com to take care of all your bariatric body needs. And our code is the only one that gets you a full 15% off. So use code OSLP at checkout.
Are you located in the Florida area?
Well, we have the perfect office for you. Dr. Fridley and his wife, Macy, have created the perfect, welcoming, and safe place for your bariatric journey.
That's right. So click on the link below to start your weight loss journey now. And don't forget to tell them that the OSLP's girls sent you.
Welcome back, OSLP family! Welcome back, OSLP family.
Welcome, welcome.
You are listening to Our Sleeve Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
Jesus Christ. And just ignore the woman behind the screen over here.
Not at
all. We want to remind you guys that we have done a lot of updates on the website.
Yes.
And it is oursleevelifepodcast.com, and you will find lots there. So we have digital downloads.
Yes.
Which is our tracker, our habit tracker.
Our habit tracker. It's like, it's the 5 pillars. So when we were doing the retreat and we were with ProCare, we talked about the 5 pillars.
Speaking of ProCare, they are the vitamin of OSLP. So go and order yours.
Exactly.
Use code OSLP.
And with our code, I will have to mention, it was actually 15% off. Everybody else's code is 10.
Yep. So you get the most discount with ours.
Right. Use ours.
Yeah.
Anyways, how did I go? Oh, pillars. There we go. So that's on the habit tracker. So we're doing the 5 pillars, which is water, protein, sleep, vitamins, and movement.
Yes.
So we're just tracking those instead of like calories and carbs and all these.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
We're just making sure we hit the minimum of the pillars.
Yep.
So, and that, like I said, is a digital download. So you can print it out. You can use it on your phone, iPad, computer, whatever you want to do. It is up there for you. Now, if you want a 50% discount on that tracker, okay? 50%. That's a pretty big discount.
Good one.
You want to go over to patreon.com/OSLP. While you're on the website, though, you can go up to the top, and on the top right-hand corner, it's going to say become a patron. Click on that.
Yeah.
It'll bring you to our Patreon. And if you choose a $10 or higher tier, you do get a 50% off discount of that tracker.
Yes. And that's the champion actual tier. And what's within that is our Benchies.
Our Benchies.
Our Benchies, which is our support group on Facebook. It's not one of those crazy ass Facebooks. It's actually supportive people.
Yeah.
People that actually will, they don't know the answer. They'll go help find the answer.
Yes. There's over 200 people in that group.
Yeah. And there's guys and there's girls. And all the ages, literally from like 24 up to 60s.
Yeah.
It's
So
fun.
and you will find somebody to connect with in that group.
Yeah.
And also you do, as a Patreon, you do get early access to tickets, like if we go on tour, which is going to happen. So you want to make sure that you get
not
the tickets
if, it's a
before
win.
everybody else.
It's a win.
And you also get a once a month Zoom with us, and we have a topic.
Yes, that we talk
Topic
about
every month, a question that we ask you, and then you can choose to interact, you can choose not to, you can leave your video off, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Yep.
We're just there to support you. And then the next thing, the last thing that you can do, the free thing is YouTube, because you're probably listening or watching this on YouTube, I would hope.
Yeah.
If you are not, go over to YouTube, put in Our Slave Life Podcast. We are the only ones. Click the subscribe button and that little bell so you are notified when future videos like this drop. Because you would know that we have a very amazing guest today.
We sure do.
So excited. We have known her for so long now.
I feel like 3 years, 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah.
For a hot minute, man.
Yeah. And we are so excited. She was actually a presenter at the first JBY.
Yes. Yes.
And we got to see her at the retreat. Very cool. So welcome on to the show, Noelani. We're so excited to have you here.
Hi guys. I'm so excited to be here. I'm every single time we meet, and which is like rare, believe it or not, because of the community events, but every single time we meet, it's like it was yesterday. Like we just linked up. So I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
It does feel like time hasn't like moved at all. We're just like right back, like what's going on?
Right.
How's everything going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey Mel, hey Kel, nice to see you. Like, what have you been up to?
This.
No,
Yes,
literally.
This is what we do all day, every day. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's start back at the like very beginning. When did you first realize that your weight was an issue?
Oh wow. So for me, I almost can't remember a time where it wasn't.
Okay.
So I want to say I struggled for sure, like middle school, high school. That's when I started to feel like the pressures of family members and even just the shameful thinking within myself. I was kind of like, okay, this is an issue for me. That's when I kind of started to notice it. But now that I am in this place, I've kind of come to the point where I've realized that I've had this relationship with food as a reward system, etc., other things since early childhood. It was always there. It was something that I just got so excited about. And yeah, so I really do think it's been something that I can't remember a time I didn't really struggle with that.
Okay. But that
I feel you. That's exactly. I don't know a time I wasn't chubby.
Yeah.
And knew I was chubby, you know?
Yes.
You know, people are pointing that shit out and they're like, just in passing, like you don't hear it. And you're like, I'm 10 things.
Yeah. No. Well, I feel like it's middle school where you really start noticing like, this person is different. I feel like elementary school, you know, kids can still be mean, but I think it was less pointed out during elementary school. It's when you go into middle school and you're like starting to like boys for the first time. And you've got that guy that you like, but he doesn't like you because, and you're trying to figure out why. And most of the time it's because they're embarrassed.
100%. Absolutely. That is exactly where my middle school, that's exactly what it was for me. I remember that's actually when I kind of started wearing big old sweatshirts because I didn't want to be seen. You know what I mean? I felt most comfortable in that. So absolutely middle school was that for me.
So
where are you from?
So I'm from California originally, Southern California. Well, I was born in Orange County, so in the Newport Beach area, but I do live in Arizona now.
Okay.
Nice. Because the reason why I wanted to point that out is that we've done this. When we were in our teens, we would wear sweaters to hide whatever.
And it'd
be fucking hot as fuck.
Oh, sure.
Right? But like somehow your body just got used to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because Because no, regardless, if you were super hot sweating, you're not going to take that sweater off. Like
No,
you're just
Not anymore. Not now.
No,
No.
When
not
you
at
feel
all.
the sweat, you're like, that came through. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not taking
Yes.
this off.
yeah, because if you take it off, then like you're seeing the evidence of like, you know what I mean? No thanks.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
stick
thank
with the
you.
sweater.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting also where you start to, I think at that age of middle school and high school, you start to internalize a lot of the weight pressures.
Oh yeah, you start seeing it everywhere. So then I
Yeah.
start thinking about it.
Yeah.
more.
I think it's very interesting because it shouldn't be like that, but it is.
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting better. Like we were just at Victoria's Secret today and they have plus size models and like models with little pooches and
It's
like
cute.
in the windows. Yeah.
I love that. I remember when I used to be like, I will never be able to shop at Victoria's Secret. I was like, that is just not a place that my body would just fit in. So
Right.
whenever I would go to Victoria's Secret with some of my friends in high school, I felt so weird just being in there.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was just the one bigger, and that may not have been the case. There may have been others like me in the store, but I was just like, I know they know I can't fit anything in this store. You know
Oh,
what
I know
mean?
that feeling because did that with
Yeah.
them. They went. I'd go with them and hang out, but I did not buy
Yeah,
anything.
we would get clothes from
Yeah.
like Marshall's, Ross Dress for Less. That was big when we
Yes.
were. It was Ross Dress for Less before it became TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Home Goods and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I remember just going in there and we would all look at clothes and Mel's like, no, I'm just gonna go to PacSun.
Yep.
I'm wearing dude shirts.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just gonna go to the one place where I know that like they got me and I don't have to like surf through things and get this anxiety and literally start sweating even more.
Yep.
Because you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Start
no.
I would
bouncing out.
feel it like in my gut, like it would
Oh,
just
yeah.
start hurting,
Mm,
and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. That's probably why I hate shopping.
That's probably a big
Because I've been a
pain
big kid
point.
my whole life, and
Yeah.
even my mom didn't even think I could fit into jeans until I was like 7th grade. So like,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I
Like,
was
you
rocking
can't
the
put
stretchy
stirrups.
pants. So
Don't
so,
forget
yeah.
the stirrups.
Oh
Oh,
yes. Yes, the stirrups. I'm sorry, I must have forgot about that.
what?
Yeah, the stirrup pants. Have you ever? And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
basically like okay.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
you understand. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Into
Yeah,
like
no.
7th grade.
But yeah, it's literally going into 7th grade. I was finally got some jeans that
Mhm.
my mom said I was too big for jeans, but she didn't realize there's actually jeans in my size.
She just
Right.
Yeah,
she didn't care if there was.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
there's just-
yeah.
There's no effort.
And see, and you know, to that, when we or even others don't have the effort to shop for us, it's almost like this already discouragement of like, why even try? So I
Yep.
really resonate with you saying like, that's probably why I hate shopping, because no matter what, I did not want to go in there and try on clothes because half of them would not fit like
Yeah.
in the dressing room. And I'm like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I get that. I resonate with that like 100%.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that until later on when I gained my weight.
When you became a
Mm.
chubby.
When I became the like, oh, I'm not fitting in anything
Yeah.
right now. And then
Mm.
you end up shopping in the maternity section because your belly's so big. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very embarrassing.
Oh
Well, we've all
yeah.
been there.
Yeah.
That's why.
Or you're like, hey, I found something that fits. And then you find out it's maternity.
oh,
I
got
know.
so mad about that. Oh my God.
You're like, oh, I would have almost wished it didn't, but yay, right?
Yeah, I found something. Yay.
One time I bought it anyway. I was like, I don't give a fuck. No one else.
No,
Oh, I did it. I did it.
Right? Like I want my stomach to be comfortable and not feel like a can of biscuits. So,
Yes.
oh well.
Busted cannabis biscuits. That's where I was
Literally.
95% of the time.
Yep.
100. Yeah. Same.
So when did you start thinking about having surgery, having weight
Okay.
loss surgery?
Okay, so crazy is I did all the things, right? I think a
Okay.
lot of us are on the same page of like we've tried A through Z and was kind of like nothing's working.
Mhm.
Well, I was actually someone who thought surgery was the easy way out at the very beginning because one, I was uneducated. to, I didn't want to take the time to become educated because all I ever knew was that it's the easy way out, that you're going to gain it all back. And quite frankly, I didn't want to fail at another thing you know what I mean? So I just had this mindset at the beginning, like, no. There's more that I can do before I do that, because I don't want to be shamed for that. You know what I mean? I'm already shaming myself for it.
All day long.
All day long. And I remember I had this nutritionist, and I went with her after I went in after our first month appointment, and I was like, I did everything you said, and it is not working. Like I'm not, if anything, I'm like gaining, like, like it's not working. I'm stressing myself out. And she's like, okay. She's like, she told me about the surgery once again. And then I was like, okay, this is clearly something. And that for me was like, okay, I've tried everything. I'm sitting here saying that I've tried everything, but this is something that I'm just kind of like, no, like there's absolutely no way, because I was scared of the possibilities. And so finally coming to a point where I think I had my daughter. She was maybe 2 at the time, and a puppy. Not being able to keep up with them was kind of like, dude, like this is going to be your life. And at the rate that you're going, you're going to continue to gain weight.
Yeah.
So like, what do you have to lose? And so I did my research. I did my education. I took that 6 months. Don't get me wrong. At first I was like, 6 months, I need this tomorrow.
Yeah, right. We think it's so long. 6 months actually goes by real fast.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
It really does. And I was like, 6 months, like, come on now. Like, I've already learned about the labels and all these things. I quite frankly don't want to look at another label again. Like, you know what I mean? But that 6 months really was crucial for me. I learned so much. I continue to learn, and I'm almost 4 years post-op. You know what I mean? So it definitely, I'm so happy that I did it. I'm very grateful. Amber, my significant other, her mom and her grandma actually had it as well.
Oh, so wow. Cool.
She grew up with members in her family who had the surgery. So when I was like, she mentioned it to me because she's seen me get bigger and bigger and bigger as I was with her. It's completely supported and loved me regardless. And she was like, well, babe, I know you're frustrated. Like, have you ever considered this? And I remember telling her, absolutely not. Like, there's no way. And then once I finally took the minute to hear like the support from her, I already knew I had support from her. I already knew I would have support from her family. Now I'm having a medical team who's actually like, this is something that could work for you. Yeah. It kind of like all went together for me to where I could finally believe in myself that like, no, you can do it.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Yeah. I find that like the people, cause I think I was on the fence of it being like the easy way out, because when you hear about it and you're not educated about the surgery, your first thing is like, oh, you have the surgery and then it makes you lose all the weight. Like, of course that's easy. Like, okay.
Oh, yes.
Well, because like all we saw on Facebook was the before and afters.
Yeah. It never dove in.
No.
To the other parts that are really actually fucking hard. Yeah. And yes, you go through your honeymoon stage where everything's working, everything's great, but it is still hard. It's still hard to deal with the stalls, with constantly drinking water or protein, or finding out how you can get that extra protein in, trying to move, like mix in movement. How do I take these vitamins? Yeah. Like all of these things are very hard to wrap your mind around. And I'm so glad to hear that you got so much out of that 6 months before you had surgery, because I remember thinking the same thing. I was like, oh my God, 6 months is going to be fucking forever. I'm ready to do this right now. Like I was in the same mindset, and I found every avenue that I could like skip ahead. Right. So like my insurance started with, you had to have 6 months, but then somebody had posted in one of those dreaded Facebook groups, oh, hey, Regents has changed their qualification stuff. It's now 3 months. So if you have Regents, you might as well, like, you might want to look into it. So of course, what did I do? I called my office and I was like, hey, I just found this out. Is this true? And they're like, well, yes, it is true with your insurance. Like, you only have to do 3 months. At that time, I'd already completed the 3 months.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, let's get through this and let's just get this surgery going. But what I lacked in vision of that time was I didn't take that time to mentally prepare myself for what was going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used it as a race. I was like, how fast can we get through this portion of it? Because I thought, like, end goal surgery.
Right.
But
that was the only thing in the forefront.
Exactly. I just wanted surgery. I just wanted to lose weight and feel better.
Right.
And so I didn't fully throw myself into it. So I'm so glad to hear that you did throw yourself into it and, like, really learned from that.
Yeah. And honestly, to your point, in that 6 months, or right before that 6 months, I remember thinking, like, all I need to do is have this surgery, lose the weight, and I'm going to be happy. Like, oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I will be like, what the hell is happy? What the hell is happy? Like, what is that? You know, what is, you know what I mean? So, oh yeah, I remember thinking that, like, all of my problems were going to go away because this is something that I was committing to.
Yep.
Well, no, this is 100% a mental journey. And I think I really, really realized that's when my relationship was with food was I was an emotional eater. I am addicted to food. And when my next meal is, I'm already thinking about it and I'm eating and I'm already thinking about my next meal. You know what I mean? So I just remember, like, this is it. And then being in that 6 months, I was kind of like, oh, you have some problems that you have to address.
Yeah.
I remember I thought that everybody had that in their head. Like, oh, everyone's thinking about their next meal when they can eat again. Like, ooh, that looks good. Like, I thought everybody else was having that conversation with themselves, and that was not the case.
No,
just us three and all the bariatric people.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people have that conversation when you battle your weight.
Right.
I think that is automatically, and I could be wrong, and if I'm okay with that, but I feel like that is automatically, if you have a problem with your weight, that is probably one of the key things to look at.
Right.
How are you literally eating and moving on to the next thing?
Right. Right. Or I've even had moments where I wasn't, like, intentionally, I was not eating because I knew the minute I was not in someone's presence, I was going to go balls to the walls.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel that 100.
You said something like, what is happy? Like, we actually have a whole episode about like finding your happy because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's so hard to just be like, what is happy, when it's like, it could be completely, I mean, it is completely different.
And what makes you happy and what makes me happy and what makes you happy, completely different things, probably.
Yes.
But I think one thing we can all agree on is when we had the surgery, we had the same thought that you did. I just need the surgery. I'll lose weight. It's going to be sunshine, rainbows. Everything's going to come in a line. I'm going to be happy no matter what.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
was in La La Land.
Well, I partly because I'm very, like, literal. So, like, I thought that, and then I thought, like, I'm very scared of gaining all the weight.
Yes.
I was very, like in my head, like, fuck, I don't want to, the people that tell me it's the only way out, that I'm going to be like, look, see, she can't even do it. So it's like,
yes,
I didn't want to be that for anybody else. So I was just like, it's going to be awesome. And then I'm like, don't fail.
Absolutely.
That's what happened to me.
Absolutely. I can 100%, in hearing you say that, there definitely was, because even before surgery, when I was like, hell no, 100%, that failure voice was so loud. And then once I finally knew and got approved that the process was starting, I think my impatient voice and like now was so loud. You know what I mean? But then of course there was that thought like, well, what if you do fail, Noelani? Like, if you do fail, this is just going to be another thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That people are paying attention because they're waiting to see what's going to happen.
Those
you know what I mean?
motherfuckers.
Yep. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I watch people. I'm like, did they have the surgery?
No, no. Oh,
I'm noticing that you've lost some weight.
Listen, I'm not okay. Honesty, right? Now that you've said it, I have seen myself where I'm like, you know, like going through my feed and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen so and so in so long. Did they have surgery? Literally. So yeah, I mean.
Well, and then you go down the rabbit hole, right? Because you're like, okay, when was the last photo that they took was this size? Okay, now I'm gonna watch the progression, but I can't just send a message and be like, hey, notice that you've lost some weight. Did you happen to have surgery? No, I want to be secretive about it.
Absolutely.
I want to be secretive. And I'm gonna be
like, it's fine.
No, just lurking, minding my business.
Yeah, just lurking in the background. Just seeing if you had surgery, because I'm out there very proud to be a bariatric patient. So I want to know. I'm curious by nature. I just want to know. Did you have surgery?
I just want to know.
Me. Yeah. There are some people that I'm not even friends with anymore, and I will pull it up and I'll be like, Mel, okay, tell me.
Look at the scars.
Did she have surgery? Because she's lost a lot of weight. And you can always tell because they lose it in their face first.
Oh, yeah.
What's funny is I know who she's talking about. And like, and you can relate to this too, Noelani. It's probably like, oh, you know, she didn't really like the surgery, but she lost weight a little too quickly.
Oh,
so now we're like, oh, you did it.
Curious and curiouser.
Right.
That's where I'm at. And I'm like, I will find your secret.
You're like, I will find out. Like,
I will find you.
And listen, if one day, if the battle scars are shown, we know what the battle scars look like.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean,
so we're exactly. Like, I have those same scars, whether you want to admit it or not. I have the surgery, so I know you did too.
Mine are light, but you can still see them.
Yeah, mine are still there.
Same. Mine are very light too, but you can still see them for sure because they're tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
How did you pick your surgeon?
So actually, when I did have my surgery through insurance, so there was a selection of surgeons. And when there was a selection of surgeons, it happened to be the surgeon who had previously removed my gallbladder in 2017. So I was kind of like, okay, and I had my surgery in 2020. So it made me feel more comfortable. Yes. So that's how, and at the time when I was going through the process, I was pre-diabetic by 1 point. And I didn't have any other pre-existing health issues other than being, of course, my BMI being over 50 and being morbidly obese. Other than that, I did not have the high blood pressure or the high cholesterol. So that's why we did opt in and decide to do the VSG versus the bypass, which, you know, I'm very, very grateful to just be in this place because I feel like I find myself to this day sometimes like, wow, you're living a life. Like, I know stuff's not perfect, but you're like living a life you're
actually living now.
Never. Yeah. Like you're living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was your highest weight?
So from what I tell myself, 305. Like from what I know from the last pre-recorded, right? I remember when I first saw the 300, it took me a while to say, oh, I'm 305. I could not verbally admit that I was over 300 pounds. I would like that 5 pounds doesn't matter, but it probably was exactly 305, if not more. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but I just remember struggling saying my highest weight that I could remember that was recorded was 305. You know,
I think it's very, very interesting that we all do what you just did. So we'll be like, what was your highest weight? Well, I mean, I stopped recording my weight. So what I think it is this. Yeah. But realistically, It's probably much higher, but
It's the well for me. It's the well for me.
Well,
I mean,
No.
because we
Yeah.
all have to like preface that instead of being like, well, I mean,
305,
still, you're gonna
308,
say,
yeah.
well,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. 305.
I
It's like
forgot
there's
how-
still like this insecurity, almost like or weirdness attached to it for me. At least I
Yeah.
can't
Oh.
speak for everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, I'm glad to not be 265 anymore or higher because
Absolutely.
I was the same way. I stopped weighing myself.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
if you don't see it on a scale, it doesn't exist.
It
That
does
is
not exist.
true. That is not true.
The false lies.
Right? Yes.
You know, it's interesting because I actually, okay. So it's going to be weird because it's about
I
the
love
way.
weird.
You love weird. I know you are. You are a little weird. It's fine.
I'm okay.
It's okay.
I'm fine with it.
I
I'm
love
so
weird.
weird. Yeah.
So my number is 308. And I'm
Yes.
actually kind of proud of it, which is interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Elaborate. Yeah. Elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
need
this
to know
is
more.
Yeah, here's the reasons why.
Okay.
Is because now when you hear a number of 300 or more, they literally look at you and go, oh my God. Like there's an instant, like they don't question it. They're just like, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. Like it's an instant like gratification of saying 308. And they're like, okay.
Mhm.
But if I said 250, they'd be like, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
there's
a
you know,
difference.
Yeah.
There's some
I'm not-
discrimination there. Because if I
there
was
is.
250, they'd probably like, you didn't need surgery.
there is.
But when I say 308, they don't even question my surgery. They're like,
That's
yep.
true.
You know, it is, and that is something that I actually noticed after surgery. The judgment and the stigmas of even people in our community,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Who are like, oh, you were only 200, you didn't need surgery. Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know what I was struggling with? You know what I mean? Because I remember me being 265, 275 in whatever. I don't know if I was that. I was approaching 2 in like high school, but I remember seeing that weight and being like, oh my gosh, like 300 is so close. Like, I remember being in that body and freaking out.
Yeah.
So Mel, I have noticed that there has been, some shame almost for people who don't have a larger number because, well, they didn't really need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't know.
No, I mean, they're not living in your medical chart.
Nope.
So they don't know, like, because, I'm going to use myself as an
You
example.
should.
Please.
I have 4 invisible diseases.
Mm.
I look like a normal fucking girl, right?
Yep.
Woman, whatever.
Woman, you're a woman.
Whatever. I don't like being a woman.
Woman.
Anyways.
Right.
I mean, I like being a woman. I just don't like the word woman because I feel old. I don't know.
Oh.
It's weird. I'm a weirdo. So I have 4 invisible diseases that most people look at me, and if I park in the handicap, like you saw the looks we got today, my mom's in the hospital. She's fine.
Oh.
She's fine.
I have a question
Okay.
about that.
Good.
There's a reason why I asked you, what did she just say to you?
Oh yeah.
Because this old lady was walking up, like going inside.
We had parked in a handicap
handicap
spot because it was like the only spot we could find.
Yeah.
We did circle for a long time.
We did.
And you have a handicap fucking
I'm allowed
placard.
to use it. I'm
You
allowed to use
are.
it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
this old woman is walking into the building and she said something to me. I was like, excuse me? And she goes, the color must take you a long time. And she was talking about my hair.
Yeah.
And Mel thought she was saying something about us parking in the handicap spot.
Mhm.
And I knew exactly when you were like, what did she say?
I know.
Just about my hair. It's just about my hair. Because we do get looks. Like you're
yeah.
seeing 2 young women
Yeah.
Mhm.
getting out of a car with no problems with a handicap placard.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, that could be the same thing as somebody having a lower BMI and you not knowing, hey, maybe they have 10 autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
Maybe
Absolutely.
they have diabetes. You don't know what the other person is battling. Therefore,
No.
shut your fucking mouth.
Period.
Touch your face.
No.
Period.
Period.
Like, shut your face off. We're not doing this. Like, I get very angry about this because I'm like, we have all felt that stigma. We have all felt that judgment, no matter what size body we were in.
100%.
So you're going to be in a new size body and you're going to turn around and tell other people that they can't have the surgery because they didn't struggle enough.
Right.
I know, right? Why is there a struggle meter?
Right. And exactly, because to your point, I was that 305, right? And I had no pre-existing health issues. And your highest rate that we are thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Was lower than mine, yet you are still struggling with these individual illnesses, diseases, you know what I mean? So that goes to show it's not always about the number on the scale, because the number on the scale doesn't always equal healthy at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I had nothing wrong. I didn't even have pre-diabetic or anything.
No, she had zero pre-existing.
I didn't even have sleep apnea, like none of it.
Yeah.
So I actually was afraid that like because I didn't have anything that I wasn't gonna get the surgery.
Same.
I was so scared because I was like, oh, I only need the BMI.
Oh my God. You know what? Actually, Mel, now that you literally, now that you say that, I think that was another reason why I was like, no surgery. Like there's other people who are in the same body as me, if not larger, right?
Yeah.
And who do have all of these things. I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy. I just deal with the other things, right? With like the pain, like there were things that I struggled with. However, on my charts, I was just, even me saying that I was pre-diabetic and it was by 1 point, that's even hard for me to say because I wasn't diabetic. You know what I mean?
Nope.
That was by barely. You know, I could have probably ate one too many cheeseburgers the night before. Like, who actually knows? You know what I mean? So to that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen quite a few people kind of come at certain people, like because of lower BMIs, some people can't get surgery here. They won't do it. Yeah. So they go to Mexico, right?
Correct.
That's not always a bad thing.
No.
Like you're still taking care of yourself. You're getting your health in line. And I've seen comments that are just awful. They're awful. And it's like, wait a minute. Isn't that what we're trying to stop?
It's a double trifecta because they're getting mad at them.
You know, a trifecta is 3, right?
True. So it's a double.
Try.
I had to think about it. And I was like, oh, that's 3.
A double trifecta, and then that's 6.
That's 6. And I do not have 6 situations here.
Okay.
But the lower the fact that they're smaller.
Yes.
And going to Mexico. They're all like saying all this shit. And that's like, hey, we know Trevita. We know that's a great place in Mexico to go to. We even like, you get like a $150 discount if you use
yes.
Yeah. Because they want as much people as they can because this happens all the time.
Yeah. People think that they have to suffer.
Yes.
Why? And you know, you talking about you, like you suffered through your weight.
Yeah.
Until you finally was like, okay, I have suffered enough. I will now have surgery.
Yeah. I was 27 when I finally did.
Yeah. And it's like, why do we need to suffer?
I was 23.
23.
No, wait, hold on. Yeah. Wait, I'm like, hold on. I'm 27. I'm like, hold on, Noelani.
You are 27.
Yeah, you were 23.
Yeah, I was 23. Yeah.
Wow, so young.
Yeah.
I was very young, and I had my daughter at 19. So,
I had my son at 19.
Okay, dude. Yeah, I had my daughter at 19, and I was bigger after my pregnancy. Like I used to joke like, oh, I'm still working on my baby weight, and she's all 2-3 years old. When you,
I love you.
Any excuse.
So literally, because I used to be the one that I'm gonna make fun of my own fatter body before you do that to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Even though I'm like, please don't, like crying inside, you know what I mean? But I was 300 after pregnancy, like, because I had surgery in 2020. So I was still carrying and just continuing to gain.
Yeah. I think the question that most of us, like if you're listening to this and you are contemplating surgery, I want you to ask yourself, why do I need to suffer more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Because I think a lot of people, and myself included, when Mel told me she had surgery and we would hang out and we would go and do things, I was like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. being bedridden, falling,
Well, and we're
gaining weight. I'm not there yet.
No.
Mhm.
Bitch, you are there. You are
Right.
there. Like
Right,
if I
right.
have gotten it now, and I have admitted, whoa, I don't know what the fuck that was.
Uh-oh.
I think that was just our ears.
Okay, that scared the shit out
We
of
got
me.
an email. That's what that
That
Oh,
was
and
exactly
it went through
what
your ears.
Oh yeah, that's
So
on
that's
your
on my computer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Woo! Scared the shit out of me. I was on a roll too. But I will fully admit I was not ready mentally. I still don't think I was ready when I did have it. But I think I was willing to suffer so much.
Yeah, 3.5 more years.
3.5 more years
before
of
you
suffering.
said yes.
Before
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I've suffered enough. So don't get to there. There's no, I think that if you are suffering at all with your weight, there are avenues to go down.
Yeah.
There are people that you can ask for help. There's surgery. There are now GLP-1s. There are options. There is no need to be like, I can do this on my own. We all know you are not going to.
And
it's not that you can't.
It's not fair because it's like no one can, guys.
No one can.
There's
We need
always
help.
someone always has someone, whether that's a best friend, a personal trainer, a coach, someone that's there that's like their cheerleader that's helping them. No one does this shit on their own. And I mean, there's probably someone, but still, you know what I mean? It's like, this doesn't make any sense.
But the thing is
even
that
if they are, exactly. And even if they are doing it alone, when you do find that support or when you know that it's out there, it is like this feeling like, oh, that like this, oh my, I finally found like my people, or I finally found something that's giving me this hope that I have never really had, at least for me. Like I got, even that young, I 100% I was convinced that my body was always going to, I was always going to be trapped in this bigger, unhealthier body, if not continuing to gain even more. Because I saw it as I was continuing to get older. I saw it, I felt it. I remember laying in bed and hurting because I was laying on one side for too long. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, like that's not normal. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Can we go back to support?
Yeah.
I want to know, because you were younger when you had surgery, and you had told us that you had surgery in California and then, but you live in Arizona. So how was it going through this journey without your office in your town? And then how did you find support? Was it social media? Was it in person? How did you find your support?
So it was hard. It was hard to navigate this journey after, because it was after my 1 year. I remember
I know.
I remember thinking to myself, no, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to do this without a team? I love you.
Sorry, we're sorry.
No.
It's just,
oh,
okay, yeah. People, if you're watching online, then you can see it.
We're going full.
You guys
we're
going to YouTube right now.
Yes.
Kelly is Joe Dirty.
Yeah, I am Joe Dirt.
Mel. I love it. First of all, you are fierce. Fabulous.
Right? I love it.
It just does what it wants to do.
Yep.
And
there's no say. There's no say.
There's nothing I can do to help this at all.
Yeah.
No, it's just growing back.
Yep.
Hair loss is real, y'all.
Even with GLP-1s.
Yeah, GLP-1s will do it too.
Really?
Yeah.
Any
you better get on collagen, girl. If you're gonna get on a GLP-1, get on some collagen.
I'm like, wait, really? Oh no.
Yeah, that's all hair loss, because my dumbass decided, oh, I'm not gonna drink my collagen in my coffee anymore. I don't need it. And so I just stopped using it. And so what happens? My hair started falling out again because I did a 60-pound weight loss, and that is still massive weight loss.
100%.
And so then I woke up one day and I was like, why did I stop that?
Right. You're
Of
like, who made that
all
decision?
things. Of all the things I could have quit, I
Right.
decided to quit my collagen. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
Future Kelly is not liking you right now.
Yeah. You're like,
So that all of that growth, that's all new growth, by the way. And that's all from collagen in my coffee and making sure I am getting my vitamins every single day.
Yeah, it's important, guys. This is what helps.
Yeah, if you're looking for collagen, I love the Obvi one.
OSLP.
OSLP for a discount. You can get it on Amazon too.
okay.
Yeah,
Cause
and our
I was just
Amazon
gonna
storefront.
say, okay, what was the collagen? Because my hair is falling out as we speak, and I have not started.
Even
You
I
know?
love fucking Avi. So
Yeah,
it's in
it
our
tastes really
Amazon
good.
storefront, and we have all the different flavors that are in there.
Oh,
And
period.
literally, I love the cinnamon cereal. 'cause
I
it
like
tastes,
churro.
tastes like a life.
Ooh, churro.
Churro's really good.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
like-
love my life cereal.
It's like yours, but amplified.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh
it's
wait,
more
Life
cinnamon-y.
cereal? Like the Life cereal?
Yeah, that's what hers tastes like.
Oh, I like Life cereal. The cinnamon
Yeah.
one is one of my
Yep.
faves.
That's
Oh
what
yeah, yeah. I like the cinnamon. So during the fall season, it makes me think of like chai tea lattes because I'll do the churro in my coffee, and then I do like a pumpkin cream with a little bit of Fairlife, and I make it. I thoroughly enjoy my collagen time in the morning. Like,
Good.
I love that. I love that you're making it, you're spicing it up to what you like, and like you look forward to it. Not only do you see the benefits, but the fact that you're looking forward to it. I think that that's important for me in order to stick to something and be consistent. Like I have to look forward to it. Otherwise I'm like, I don't really need it. And then here I go losing my hair. Uh-oh.
it happened. Yeah,
It's a fine.
But I literally recall you saying, and I don't know why this popped into my head, but I remember you saying, how did I kind of find that support here in Arizona?
Please. We got squirreled.
No, me all the time, but it just popped up in my head again. How I felt, because it was hard. It was really hard because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this by myself. Like, yeah, I have my tool, but like, there's still like internal work that needs to be done. My relationship with food, like I still felt like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I did lose my mom 4 to 6 months into surgery.
Sorry.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. After losing her, I leaned on food in a different way, as well. Could I not go as balls to the walls as I could before? No, but I still was like, well, I know I have this restriction. So, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm just gonna use it and abuse it. And that's when I was realizing like, oh, Noelani, like this is why you got your surgery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So after moving to Arizona, and that's when I realized the Instagram community is like powerful. If you find the right communities that align with you and what you want for your journey, like it is so powerful. Before I was really connected into like the Facebook groups, but which was okay. But when I found that community on Instagram, I was like, oh, okay, this is something that I need. And I remember feeling this, not only motivation, but this consistency that I was like, I can still do this. Like there are so many people who are past a year out and they're still doing the things, seeing and feeling the progress.
Yeah.
I felt like after a year, like that was it. And I was still going through not only the things that were kind of flipped my journey upside down because I was distracted, but I also wasn't using the tools that I needed. So once I found that community online, I really used that and started reaching out to people and lurking on other people's pages who were clearly saying like, oh, I had the surgery. I would just look and scroll and be like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then eventually going to retreats or going to, the award show and meeting with people in person and having monthly meetups here in Arizona has given me that extra like deposits into my bank of like, you can do this. All you need is your tools and support. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think really connecting with people here in Arizona, not only having an online community, that online community has allowed me to have an in-person community. Hello, I met you girls, as well as other many berries. And then again, the ones in Arizona, meeting them in person, I was listening to their stories with their surgeons, the experience that they had, where if they felt supported in their team, if they didn't feel supported in their team. And then in those stories, which was all of 2022, I finally found a surgeon that I thought would align with me and where I wanted to go, because I was dealing with the regain. My hair was falling out. So I was like, Noelani, you have like the support is everything, but you need the support of a team as well. Like that is something that you can't go without. At least for me, I cannot go without being connected with a team at this time. I need that support. So it was really through my community that I was able to find a new bariatric team again. So I'm excited to be able to be connected with people who get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so important.
Yeah.
Like it's the first thing I noticed when I came to the community, because I thought I was going to get shamed because I didn't come into the community till 4 years late. So I was super nervous. And then I got all this love and I was like, oh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's very much everything, every piece of your support, your office, online, in person, all of it plays a part. Yeah. And I also think that we are automatically, as soon as something is not going well in our bariatric journey, maybe we're eating around a restriction, maybe we are just, not focused on the things that we need to be focused on, maybe we're having some regain. It is our first instinct to be like, nope, we're just bowing out. Right. Nope, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about this to anybody because they're all doing fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like, a newsflash, nobody's doing fine. Nobody's doing fine. Everybody's going through something.
Well, and everybody's just trying to do the best they can.
Yeah, everybody's just trying to make it through the day.
Yep.
100%. Like I feel that in my soul, because with being maintenance and having and meeting people, most of them being newer in their journey, I almost found myself in a point where it's like, well, I know I'm struggling, but I don't want to vocalize these. I want to, because I know I need to, but there was almost this shame too, because here I am 3 years out and I'm dealing with this regain. Although I know regain is normal and it's okay, it's not okay for Noelani to have regain. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah. Yep.
So it's
like right there.
Yep. I would immediately be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about that. But then I would be like, Noelani, maybe you should use this support and these people to actually be like, no, your girl is struggling. Like, you know what I mean? And it took me a while to actually admit that like my food noise was getting so loud. And I think it was because I went inwards, and I went to like that old trauma response is why my emotional eating and my regain was as much as it is, because I did not decide to cry for help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You kept it in.
Yeah.
Of course, on top of me just flat out not doing what the fuck I was supposed to be doing, right? Not prioritizing protein. I'm going to hold myself accountable, right?
Yeah.
Not prioritizing my vitamins, all of that. But then also there was that attached to it as well.
Yeah. I think I have like, ever since I said, yes, I have regained, and yes, I have regained 60 pounds, like on an episode, it was not easy, especially being a podcaster where we talk about all the things you're supposed to be doing. Yes. And when you have to go on there and admit, yes, you're supposed to look up to me, and I should be a pillar for you. I'm over here gaining weight like crazy and I'm pretending like it's not happening, but everybody knew it was happening. Like, absolutely. It wasn't a secret. And I just kind of went into the background. I didn't want to really do anything.
It's not happening.
Yep. I was just shaming myself for something that should have been talked about. It should have been easy for me to say, okay, I'm struggling. Your girl is struggling and I need help.
It's hard.
Yeah, because our
It's
first instinct is,
hard.
oh, we failed. Let's just not talk about it.
Yep.
And like for me, being a person who is an emotional eater, it's really hard for me to obviously I'm doing the head work. I'm doing the things to work on this because I know the food noise isn't going to go away. This is this is a lifelong process. This is part of me. And I'm realizing that. However, I think I've come to realize that this journey is a lifelong journey, and the more that I continue to like kind of be in this denial where I'm expecting myself, even with this tool, to just to be 100% perfect or on point all the time is almost really working against me, and almost that kind of like that shameful talking that we do to ourselves, expecting us to be motivated. I was kind of doing this literally. I was like doing the same thing, expecting there to be this unfound progress when I wasn't really fully coming to terms with where I was at. You know what I mean? And then once I was finally like, I need to say this out loud, it was hard. I was like, I'm struggling with regain. Like you don't even want to say it. It's hard. You know what I mean? But there's so many people that are struggling with it. And once I actually talked about what I was going through, I think it was that light bulb of like, Noelani, these are your people. Like they know how, like that feeling when you're feeling like no one else in the world feels this way because you're just obsessing about food. Well, no, there's a whole community of people who actually get it. And they're there if you're willing to like just say anything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So say something. I mean, even just like be like, hey, I'm struggling. I don't really want to talk about what I'm struggling with, but I'm struggling.
I feel like you guys are talking to me and I need to just come clean that I am struggling with regain and I am up like 40 pounds. So there you go.
I love you.
I love you.
I honestly change how we all love about you.
I know.
No.
I know. So I'm struggling. I'm feeling it. I gotta like reel it in because I'm an emotional eater, and then my eating has actually gotten better the last few months. It was just the beginning.
It was the beginning of the divorce.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it was the beginning of the divorce. And then it was when I found out the guy I was dating was married. Ate a lot of that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And just, I was going to say, Kel, it's like when your body it's almost like you're triggered in a way. So that old part of you is like, oh, we're triggered. So for me as an emotional eater, and you just said an emotional eater, you kind of go back to that comfort that is always there, you know, and that was food for me, you know what I mean? So and in those moments where I felt like my world was crashing down, that was still there. So struggling with regain, it's a struggle, but it definitely is one that does not have to be fought alone.
Right.
Especially if you find those people who are at the rate of being able to be honest, you know, and have those open, honest conversations. Because it is important. You won't know. I think people are really surprised at who's struggling.
Yeah.
Right. You really
probably a lot more.
There's a lot more.
Yeah. I think you look at yourself as like you're the only one struggling, but in reality, there's a lot of people that struggle with this. This is not an unheard of issue of regain.
No.
Like you gain because things happen in your life. And something that Jamie said to me when I was working with her really stuck in my brain because I would constantly blame myself for eating.
Yep.
And for coping with food. And she said, Kellie, that coping mechanism has worked for you for 37 years.
Yeah.
Why?
Why wouldn't you go back to that?
Yep.
why wouldn't you go back to this, to the safest thing that your body knows, that your brain knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a trauma response.
It is.
It is.
Instantly, it's like, okay, what makes you feel good? Fucking curly fries and a sandwich. That's what happens.
Girl. Yes. So literally. And it is honestly those hard, I think, conversations with myself and with others that was really able to kind of break me free from the own chains that I was kind of chaining myself on too. You know what I mean? Because I was like, no, you had your surgery. You're not supposed to struggle. Although here I am, like, no,
fucking true.
It is.
Oh my God. So we fought ourselves to get surgery.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then now that we've had surgery, we're never supposed to struggle again.
No.
Yeah, because now we're smaller, so we're not allowed to have any problems.
Yes. Like the lies we tell ourselves.
Seriously, it just doesn't make sense.
You said that, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's seriously what we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we are never allowed to struggle again because nobody else is struggling.
Right? And I'm 8 years out, and I'm like, it makes sense why I'm struggling.
Yes.
Yeah, I have zero restriction right now.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah.
That's why you're struggling.
Yes.
Not to mention, like, you're going through a divorce.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like, do you remember what I ate during my divorce?
Right. And see, and that's the
fair
thing. And see, that's the thing is you have your tool, but when you had your you didn't know what your life was going to be like 5 years into your tool, 8 years into your tool. You have to learn to navigate that as it comes. You know what I mean? And when you have those experiences such as divorce or trauma or self-sabotage, all the things, it's hard to combat with that, especially if you're not fully aligned, if you're not feeling fully aligned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I hear that 100%. Like when I am not feeling okay, or I feel like my world isn't going okay, I notice that's when I'm like leaning more so on food or losing the negotiations in my head. Yeah. Am I going to eat it? Am I not going to eat it? And then I'm like, fuck it. I'm going in.
I've had too many fuck it moments.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Yes.
I don't judge, but yeah, I would agree.
Yes.
You had way too many fuck it moments.
Yeah.
When you come to the terms where you're like, yo, your fuck it moments really need to chill, because now you're just abusing the fact. You know, I've literally had to have that conversation with, I'm like, Noelani, your tools are trying to tool right now. They're talking to you. They're literally talking to you.
I fucking love that. Your tool is trying to tool.
My tool is trying to tool me. It's literally trying to talk to me. And I'm like, you know what I mean? But it's remembering my why in those moments, remembering all that progress within these 3 years, even though my right now doesn't necessarily feel the best because I'm struggling with the regain, it still doesn't dismiss the 3 years, the 8 years that we've worked our asses for. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't, but I think as a community, we're getting better.
Yeah.
There's more work to be done, but I think as a community, we're getting better at trying to meet each other where we are and realize that, like, I'm not okay today, or I'm not okay this week. I'm not okay this month.
Yeah.
And that being an okay thing.
You know, if you need to have extra support, you need to lean on people. It's okay.
Correct.
It is 100% okay. And I think that feeds also into our other, where we were talking about, why are we torturing ourselves? Why are we suffering? Why do we have to suffer more?
Right.
So why are we suffering?
Why are we suffering?
Why do we think we need to suffer?
Because society says big people need to suffer.
Yes, because that is the identity that is tied to us, unfortunately. I feel like that is like the identity that we've just given ourselves, or that people have given us, you know. And we have learned to kind of live through that survival mode for either our entire lives, for an X period amount of time, you know what I mean? And so all of this to say, I think when I started to like, it's like riding a bike, when I finally like the training wheels, that I feel like that was my first year. Like I still have my training wheels on, like I, you know, and then when the training wheels finally were off, I was like, I had to learn how to ride my freaking, I had to learn, I use metaphors and analogies all the time, guys. Like,
I love it.
I had to learn how to ride my bike, and I fell a couple times. I scraped my knees. I was like, screw this. I need to wait an hour before I hop back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had to do all those things, but I still pick up the bike. I'm still going. I'm still on the journey. And I think once I felt like that kind of high is where it brought me here today, to be like, whoever is like out there and they're feeling alone, like it does not have to be that way. Like that, I feel like that's why if I ever do come across someone who feels as lost as I do, I think you guys are literally, this is OSLP. This is what you guys do.
Yeah.
I think this is literally your guys' mission, to be like, but love, it doesn't have to be this way. Like I get you're suffering, but it doesn't have to be. And if you're not all the way okay and you're not all the way ready, that's okay too. We're still here.
Yeah.
I think that's what I love about this community most.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'd like to say, like, okay, I just said I regained 5 minutes ago, and I already feel better.
Yes, babe.
Isn't that wild? It doesn't take long.
Because like, we don't realize how much it's holding us like captive.
Yeah. Like, my stomach doesn't hurt. I don't feel like anxious
Is
about
your eye
it.
Still twitching?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I just twitched too.
I thought maybe.
Oh no, that's not over. That's gonna take a couple of days. I need some good rest, less stress.
Right. But I love that your body at least felt that it felt some release in that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Good for you.
And nobody said, oh, Melanie, how dare you regain? You are 8 years out. You're not supposed to deal with these things.
No,
right.
Nobody feels like that. Nobody. Like,
and if they do, nobody even cares.
They can shut their faces off and go away and hide wherever those awful people hide, and just go away.
Because we're on our own little island. We're on our own little island doing what we do, what we know how to do best. Or if we don't know, we got each other. Yeah. And I mean, that's that.
Well, and we're all just sharing experiences. Like you are having an experience right now that you are sharing, and it may help someone else that is experiencing the same exact thing. And that's how I felt when I finally said, like, I have regained half of what I lost.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys right now, it is those voices, your guys' voices, that for me, hearing and seeing, like, for example, knowing that the GLP-1, that's something that you are just so authentically, unapologetically, like, this is one of my tools that has inspired me and so many others to be like, no, this is a tool, and I don't care what anybody else thinks. Right. And it is those people who are scared or who feel shamed enough to share their stories are the ones who are really inspiring those to be like, I can do this too. Because you definitely, your story, Mel, and your story, Kel, not only has it inspired me, but so many others to know that even if you are in life maintenance stage, like, your life could still be magical. You know what I mean? You can still do all the things, even if you haven't gotten it in the first year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I felt like that from the moment I knew I was having surgery. I was like, this is what I'm doing. I don't really give a shit if you think that it's bad or wrong or the easy way out or whatever the fuck you're thinking. I don't give a shit. And I just like unapologetically was like, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm sharing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said the regain part and I started to get help, then I was like, yeah, fuck you too. Like, I don't really give a shit. I'm on GLP-1s. I don't care what you think about it. I'm not stealing medication from diabetics. Like, I'm literally using this in the same, like, it's medically necessary.
Yep.
So
you are using the medication that your doctor is prescribing to you because that is what you need to help you continuously be successful throughout your journey. Period. Exclamation point.
And not everybody can be that like unapologetically like, this is what I'm doing and fuck you if you don't like it. But that's why I think it's us that have to say it and be like, I don't give a shit what you say. Like, be a troll, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
People because feel safe.
And
there you go.
You have to have a safe place to go.
Yeah.
And so we want that for you guys. We're not going to let people in like that. It's just not.
No, we've already booted out one person that's not good for this community. We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to name names. Like,
listen.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying that, fucking twitching.
Saying that certain person?
Yeah, it was all.
Yeah, it's your body response. It's a body response.
That's a trauma response.
That's a body. Your body's like,
we're not doing this shit.
Can we not talk about that?
It's so funny.
Yeah.
So Noelani, I'd like to ask some NSFVs.
You good?
I almost said NSF, which is a non.
Yeah. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about.
Non-sufficient funds fee.
Yeah.
But no, actually. Can you tell us some things about your non-skill victories? Because we love to celebrate those.
Yes.
Oh, non-skill victories. Those are, I love that you guys love to celebrate that because those are like the highlights of my journey. I think some of the bigger ones is just being able to advocate for myself. Like, this is not tangible, clearly. Like, this is something inward. Finding that advocacy and being like, no, like, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is what I need. This is what I don't need. Like, that is something that I was never able to do, that never felt comfortable when I was either made the decision or was forced to make the decision to write. I never felt comfortable doing those things. So to feel this undeniable, unapologetic sense of authenticity, it's an awareness of myself has been so magical. I've unlocked a relationship with myself and love myself like I never have. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I have my flaws and my insecurities, and like we just talked about, all the things that I shame with, but I'm able to come back and be like, no, like, you have worked so hard. And I never thought I was going to get to a place like that. Like, truly, I always thought I was going to feel like trash. Therefore I was trash. Now which is such a shitty way to think and to feel and to live. But once you start to feel like this newfound confidence in yourself, it's wild.
It really is.
So not only just that interpersonal non-skill victory, being able to just wake up and not feel this restriction right off the bat, just by opening your eyes and not waking up in pain and in discomfort, has been a gem. And just being able to do things with my family and in this community, I'm able to just live and be a version of myself that I never expected. Like, I'm actually participating in my own life.
Yeah.
I'm not living on the back burners.
Yeah. I feel like an overall theme that we've heard, from the retreat moving forward has been, I'm no longer on the sidelines of my own life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Good. That's huge for us.
It's huge because for me, and from like what we've talked about, we literally, it was almost like we were living on the outsides of our bodies and just watching our lives just kind of go by.
Yep.
And it's like, now you're actually in the game. Like, now you're actually in that driver's seat, and like,
I would say you're actually like in your own movie. You are the star. You're the star of your own movie. You're not like the B actor or the co-star. Like it's you. This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're writing that own movie as well. Like you are, you know that at the end of the day, like you have that power within yourself. And I think that's what it was, really unlocking that personal power within me was something that was like, like, whoa, what is this? Self-love?
Crazy. It does exist.
It does exist. Like,
it does. It's so good.
That's amazing. I think that I went till I was losing my regain to where I unlocked my personal power. And I feel like every one of us could probably pinpoint when that was unlocked. And if you don't know when it was unlocked, you haven't unlocked it yet.
100%. And that is okay.
Oh, 100%.
I will tell you, because 3 years into my journey, like I told you, 2022 was really when I was like, okay, I am in control of this journey. Like I am in the driver's seat. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Like it's not always at the very beginning. And I feel like, like you said, it's not a race. You know, it's not a race. I know that sense of urgency may feel like you need it now, but it is a lifelong journey. It's intended to be one.
Yeah.
You know, therefore enjoy that journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. And I think let's just end it there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we could make this episode any better. I definitely want to thank you, Noelani, for being on and being so open and candid about everything going on in your life and really just sharing how we can support each other in this community instead of tearing each other down. I really, really respect everything that you spoke about.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you for just giving me a safe space to speak authentically, and thousands of others in this community. It makes it easy to when you have a safe space, I hope you utilize it. Right. And this is one of them. So it was easy. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And tell everybody, Noelani, where can they find you?
So I am on Instagram or really any social media platforms at Own Bariatrics.
Okay.
I would love to connect with all of the berry besties.
Yeah, we love that.
Yes, we do. And all of her information is going to be down below in the description area.
You can find her.
You could just click on it and it'll go straight to her.
Yes. And don't forget to go over to the website, pick up your merch, pick up your habit tracker, sign up for the newsletters. You get 2 a week. Like, let's just get those things out of the way so then you can enjoy listening to us every week.
Yeah.
Wearing your merch.
Because guess what? By the time this comes out, the JBY news will have already been released. But you know what? Guess who got to know that first? The newsletter people. Yeah. Our subscribers. Yeah. So that's why it's so important, because you'll find out things before everybody else does.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, all right. We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.